All right, we're back at the cross-section of film and graphic novels, and I got a really cool book to discuss today. I recently did a microgenre episode on blaxploitation horror movies, and easily the #1 prime example in that category is Blacula. There really isn't another black horror icon from the 70s that's more iconic, and our companion comic book is Blacula: Return of the King from Zombie Love. Okay, I know. I'm starting off already with a cheat. Today's book isn't technically an adaptation, but it's pretty damn sweet, and it does have flashbacks to scenes from the movie, plus it's really cool for multiple reasons.
I'm going to allow it.
Well, great, because this has a sense of completion to me, like the third part of a trilogy. See, the two Blacula movies operate like a standard horror movie, where the big bad vampires are villain, the antagonist to beat, the monster in the monster movie. But for a generation of people, Blacula was also the hero. Tragic? Yes. Dangerous? Sure. But he was the hero of the story. The first movie opens with Dracula as a colonizer turning Mamuwalde from a distinguished king into a blood-sucking fiend against his will. The parallels between the Black American experience, how their neighborhoods were flooded with drugs intentionally, and the white Dracula turning Mamuwalde into a blood-sucking fiend and then mocking him with the name Blacula, has not gone unnoticed. In both movies, the story concludes with Blacula having been defeated. Horror franchises have an interesting phenomenon where the villain is the focus and the audience begin to root for the villain instead of the heroes of the stories. We cheer for Jason Voorhees, or Chucky, or the Critters, and Blacula, more than most, deserves to be thought of as a tragic figure. Given that mindset of the Blacula fan, this comic book meets us where we want to be. While the movies take place in a contemporary 1970s, this comic takes place in current day, the third time that Blacula has risen from the grave. The title is Blacula: Return of the King, but it might just as well have been called Dracula's Revenge, because that's what this is all about. It's a showdown, finally, between Mamuwalde and Count Dracula, and I think that fans have wanted to see this since the opening scene in the first Blacula. And that angle coming full circle in this incarnation is what gives it a sense of completion or finality. It gives us the hero Blacula that we always wanted to root for anyway. The book is written by Rodney Barnes, who I wasn't familiar with by name, but the projects he's written or produced for speak for themselves. Wu-Tang: An American Saga, American Gods, The Boondocks, just to name a few. He's also written comics that include Army of Darkness, Philadelphia, and others, and the publisher Zombie Love Studios is actually his own publishing house. The artist is veteran horror maestro Jason Sean Alexander. That's a triple first name situation. I know Jason's work from Abe Sapien mostly, but he's worked on Queen and Country, The Escapists, and even Spawn. And that completely makes sense to me looking at this book. He's extended Blacula's cowl to look more dynamic, and now it creates a silhouette not unlike Spawn. In this book, his style is greatly textured with paints to add a certain grit and sense of that 70s grimy cinema feel. His work varies in style as well from page to page, but it all has texture and mood, and it's not corny in the slightest. He gives the undead William Marshall all the dignity and power that he deserves, making him even scarier than he is in the movie. Now, some of you might be thinking that the campy tone of the movies is missing from the book, but I think this works better. If there was more humor in the book, I think Alexander would no longer be the best choice for the project for the artist. Taking Blacula more seriously gives him more power, and considering his origin story, there's meat there to dig into, and having an artist give him the Spawn treatment is all a really good fit. In this world, in the book, There's an epidemic of people going missing, and we see the name of Blacula spray painted on walls. It gave me a little bit like Candyman vibes, utilizing the urban myth idea and giving it to Blacula, similar to Jimmy Bones in Bones, where there's a rhyme and a history to the place, like Freddy's 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you, or Crystal Lake in the Friday the 13th movies. You know, I would check out another volume of Blacula from Zombie Love for sure if they did one.
Listen, man, you will find, she's got to be around here somewhere. I bet you she's worried right now and looking for you. So why don't you just back off of me and go get her?
This was a big win in my book. It's earned a spot on a shelf in my personal library, and I would even love to see a Candyman Blacula crossover if they could make that happen somehow. And you know, Blacula's in LA and Candyman is East Coast, so maybe we could get like a West Coast, East Coast monster feud happening. But seriously though, they are both tragic monster characters and now urban legends. There's some common ground there that they could possibly explore. All right, well, I've done my part and shared with you another excellent comic book movie crossover. It's time for you to hit the like and the follow. If you did indeed like the video, please do. It means a lot more than you might think. So thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.